So let's start talking about path-dependent options. So path-dependent options are options that depend on the path taken of the underlying throughout the lifetime of that contract. Now, a popular exotic option of this type is barrier options. Here we're going to be looking at how to actually price a barrier option on an up and out put option. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So let's just take a review of Monte Carlo pricing approach. Here we're trying to value financial derivatives using this framework that's been built up on risk-neutral pricing. So we're going to simulate our risk-neutral asset paths over time, and then we're going to use those simulations with a backwardation method to actually get our discounted expectation of our option price. So with that in mind, let's import our dependencies. We've got time, numpy, and matplotlib because we're going to plot. So then let's consider the dynamics of our underlying. So here we're going to consider that we have geometric, Brownian motion dynamics. So as you'll notice, these are the risk neutral dynamics. And here we have our deterministic part and our diffusion term. Now the solution under these risk neutral dynamics is that for the next time step, we have the current price times by the exponential of this new term here times by the change in t plus sigma square root of time with this normally distributed variable epsilon. Now new here is the deterministic component where we have r minus a half sigma squared. So what's the key difference between path-dependent options like the barrier option specifically compared to a European option? Well, essentially it is a European option, except it has one or two circumstances. It either ceases to exist because the asset goes over or under a certain threshold value, or it comes into existence because it's gone over or under a certain threshold. So here we're considering this predetermined barrier level to be H, okay? And the important thing is that you have some kind of monitoring dates that you're going to be assessing the asset over. So we call these tau. Now, these can either be discrete or continuous. But because we're doing Monte Carlo simulation, we're going to say that they're discrete with our time periods as we step in time. For the up and out barrier put option, we have a normal put option with our payoff of k minus st, and that's the max of 0 or that value. However, we have an indicator function now, which is the max across all of these barrier monitoring time steps. What is our price value, and is that less than our barrier? So this is an up and out option. If the price goes above in terms of our price history, if it goes above our barrier threshold, then I want to return a payoff of 0. And that's exactly what we're saying here. In other words, for all simulations, so for the mth simulation, if across all those time periods in the monitoring date, our price threshold is above or equal to our barrier, then we're going to make the payoff equal to 0. Else, if it's not part of the monitoring dates, or our price path is less than our H, then we have a European payoff style. So let's initialize the parameters. Here we have a stock price with 100, a strike price of 100, time to expiry is 1 year, and our up and out barrier value or price is going to be $125. Our annual risk-free rate is 1%. And our volatility is 20%. Here we have a number of time steps that we've just defined, 100, and we have a number of simulations, 1000. So let's move on to the slow steps to see how we can actually price this using Monte Carlo. So here we're going to pre-compute the constants. So we've got our change in time, we've got our deterministic component, and then our diffusion coefficient that we're just calculating. So this is the square root of time volatility, and then this is our deterministic component weighted by time. So here we just have our discount factor, which is just exponential r dt. Now here I've just got two variables which we'll be defining these for our standard error placeholders as we move through this Monte Carlo simulation. So the Monte Carlo method for our simulation in the number of simulations m, what we need to do is initialize two variables. We need to initialize our stock price. So our stock price path is going to start with our initial price. And then we need to say, has the barrier been crossed? And right now we're going to set this flag to false. So now we're going to step through time. So for each simulation in each time, I want to simulate our epsilon, our normal random variable. Now this is a standard normal random variable. And here then, we're going to compute our next price path using the risk-neutral dynamics solution to our price path. So here we have our initial stock price multiplied by the exponential of our deterministic plus our diffusion components, and then we're going to update our stock price. Now, if the stock price at this particular time is greater than our threshold, then we're going to say that this barrier cross flag is equal to true. We're going to break this specific loop and we're going to move on to the next step immediately. Now, if that's not the case, we're going to step all the way through time and then we're going to get our final stock price. So let's say, for an example, that in this particular simulation at a particular time, we get the barrier equals true. A price exceeded the barrier in this Monte Carlo simulation. So then we would come here, and if barrier is equal to true, we make the price of that particular simulation equal to 0. Else, the actual simulation payoff value is going to be like a normal European put option, which is the max of 0 or the strike minus the final price. Now here with the sum CT and the sum CT squared, we're just accumulating all these standard error placeholders over our simulation. Now we can just compute our expectation, which is the discounted average of all of these payoffs, and then we can compute our standard error using the placeholders. So here you can see we get a call value that's equal to $7.38 with a standard error of around 0.3. Now the computation time was 0.4. Now for the fast implementation, so we're going to vectorize this now, and we need to use a function of numpy, which is np.any. Now this function returns true when an array is passed to the first parameter and it contains at least one true element, and returns false otherwise. So this is going to be important when we actually subsection or create a mask for our array. So we compute our constants in the exact same way, and our Monte Carlo method now, we're going to simulate all of our random variables at the same time. Now we're still going to be directly calculating stock price because we need that to be able to see whether it's above the barrier or not. So here we have a n, so number of time steps by number of simulation size of random normal variables. Here we've got our delta ST, so this is just an array of the changes in the stock price over each time period for each simulation. And then here we're going to accumulate these price deviations along each time step, so that for each simulation we're accumulating the changes from this array that happen across each time step. Then I'm concatenating a simple numpy array just of shape 1 of the simulation number with filled values, that's the initial price. This is just so I can plot it neatly later with my initial stock price for all the simulations. At this point, I'm going to copy the array, and I'm doing this because I want to plot using S later. So now we're going to apply this barrier condition to our numpy array by using this numpy any function. So we're going to create a mask. So just a array of true or falses based on whether this condition has been reached across our simulation time paths. So for each simulation, we're just checking along that particular path, and that's what axis equals 0 is, our rows, our simulation. Has this price exceeded our threshold? If it has, return true. If it hasn't, return false. Then I'm subsectioning this price array. For all the rows, I then want to apply this mask, which is just the columns for all the simulations. For all those simulations, I need to make that entire row equal to 0. Otherwise, we're going to leave it as it is. So now here, I'm going to get a subsection of all the values. So where our values in the last time period are not 0, because I made the ones that this condition crossed as 0, where they're not 0, I want to return the prices. And from that, we're going to be calculating our maximum between 0 and then the strike minus that particular price. So we're going to get an array. And then we're going to take the discounted expectation of that of our price simulations. Now, remember here, we have to divide by m, which is the total number of simulations, not the length of this truncated array. We can also compute the standard error, and now you can see that here we've got a call value 7.52 with a standard error of 0.3, similar to before, but now the computation time is 0.008. Now to visualize this, I'm just going to plot the stock price array that I copied before. So I'm going to plot the ones where the price threshold exceeded, which was that mask, in red, and then where it didn't, I'm going to plot it green. And here you can see that really the green mask is the ones that we're applying for our European style options, and our red simulation paths is where the value of the payoff is equal to 0. So that is how you use Python and Monte Carlo simulations in a risk-neutral framework to actually value barrier options. And of course, we only studied one of the possible combinations of barrier options, but hopefully you can apply this framework and apply how I've implemented it using numpy arrays to value your own specific barrier option.